Thanks for coming.
It's my pleasure, of course.
Ben, Ronald Reagan's name seems to be very much, his name's very much in vogue these days as our country struggles to try to turn itself around. What do you think, looking back, is the most important lesson that we can learn about Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan believed in America, and because Ronald Reagan believed in America, America believed in Ronald Reagan. And that wholehearted confidence that President Reagan had in America shared itself to the hearts of the American people. And we were able to dramatically raise our national morale through his leadership and example, and thereby take on the problems of communism, inflation, recession, and national self-doubt. And it is the morale problem that is underlying all of our other problems in America today. And we need a leader with the kind of wholehearted confidence in America that Ronald Reagan had, and wholehearted confidence in himself that Ronald Reagan had. And I think that is what America is crying out for. And I have to say, with all due respect to Mr. Obama, he ain't got it. He has many qualities, many fine qualities, but wholehearted confidence in America is not one of them.
Okay, along the same lines, and if the United States were a company, would you invest in it right now? Do you still think the United States is a good long-term bet?
Richard Nixon, my former boss, used to say, our best days lie ahead. Things always look difficult right in the moment, but our best days lie ahead. And I would say that belief will be severely tested in the future, but with the right kind of leadership, yes, America can do anything, it can move higher. But I would say that except in the darkest days of World War II, we have never faced a challenge quite like we're facing now. The Islamic terrorist threats to the economy, the severe economic competition from all over the world, and a fractionating, one might say, a fractioning of the American political body, which is not new. There's always been severe differences and divisiveness within politics. That's what politics is all about. There would be no politics if there weren't differences. But the extent to which the political body itself, that is, all the people who vote, are different and have extreme enmity towards one another, that's a big problem.
Okay. What do you think is the single most important thing that could be done by our government, if anything, to turn the economy around?
Well, I may use this in my speech. May I mention this here and also in my speech? In 1955, Dwight Eisenhower had a heart attack. He was president. He had a heart attack while playing golf at Burning Tree Country Club. He was rushed from the golf course to Walter Reed Army Medical Center. They did some surgery on him. They patched him up. They gave him oxygen, put him back in his hotel room, and he was recuperating there. Richard Nixon, who was vice president, came over to see him and said, Mr. President, is there anything I can do to help you? Anything at all. Just anything, Mr. President, just tell me. And Eisenhower said, well, Dick, you could get your foot off my oxygen tube. And that is sort of how I feel about the economy. And the government has got its foot on the American economy's oxygen tube, which is the confidence of small and medium-sized businesses, by taxation, by mandates on healthcare and environment. They have scared small business owners to death. And it is that is the problem. So I would say, Mr. President, get your foot off the oxygen tube.
Got it. Last question. It was not long ago that the media and the pundits were making fun of the Tea Party as being a bunch of disorganized know-nothings. And now all the media seems to be able to talk about is the Tea Party and how they have the power to change electoral outcomes. How do you see the Tea Party movement?
I don't know what to make of them because on the one hand, some of my best friends, in fact, my very best friend, is quite active in the Arizona Tea Party. And on the other hand, some of them seem to be quite disorganized. I don't know, and I don't know whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for the Republican Party. If it winds up dividing up the vote for the Republicans, it's going to be a huge blessing for the Democrats. I applaud their initiative and their ability to get themselves out in meaningful numbers to the polls. But since I don't really know what their program is, what their policy is, or what their policies are in any particular set of issues, I don't know what to think about them. I will say I think it's great that Americans are politically energized, but I'd like to know what they're for and what they're against. I mean, saying they're for smaller government, well, we're all for smaller government, but it's incredibly hard to do. You have to be very, very specific. And Americans are not going to want to give up defense. They're not going to want to give up Social Security. They're not going to want to give up Medicare. I don't know what that all means. I mean, I wish them well. I just wish they would just clarify what they want, and then I'll vote Republican.
Thanks, Ben, very much.
Thank you very much.